It's like, I think the most crazy thing I experienced. Well, you know what? No time for that because we're into the game. Dignitas versus OG. This is the deciding map. Dust 2. What the hell is going to happen here, guys? I feel like people are going to say, oh, you know, bias casters because we talk so much about Dignitas, but I think it's just because they're a massive underdog and they're doing a damn great job. And what can't you love about that?
Yeah, I can never be against Freiburg and Forest winning. It's always going to feel just as good. But can OG get back into control of this series in the third and final map? It's going to be a B play for OG. Forest tip-tap into the back of the site. The molly's good, but can he get any more before he perishes? No. One and done, but two more CTs in the site, and taps for Halzak and Freiburg will find five almost. It's only MBK alive, but we know what this guy's pistols have been like in today's series. He's been finding round after round to open the half, and he's already on 2.
Yeah, can he get any more? MBK, he's given us some great pistol moments so far. This is going to have to be another one. He's waiting early on to see if he's given a fight, but Dig just aren't budging. They're not giving anything over. He's tapped the bomb, hoping that baits the engagement, and it does, but he's not ready for it. And once again, they're in with the sprays. Dignitas, they're loving this, man. They're loving, you know, putting those graffitis down and just taunting OG, trying to get in their heads. I like that. I love mind games. I play them with Hugo all the time, and he doesn't really know. But it is great to see Dig kind of embracing that, you know, maybe this wasn't meant to be, I don't want to say as easy as it's been, because they did lose that first map, but with how dominantly they took the second, right, they're trying to send like this clear message of, look, we've done our homework, and you're not just going to get like an easy win today. You will have to grind this out. We're going to make you uncomfortable, and we're going to get in your heads, and I think they're doing a very good job of that out of the gate. This scout over here in mid with Forest alongside it is just lighting them up right now. Middle's closed. Dignitas, they've put the bars down, and OG, it's all left onto Alexi, and he's a dead man walking.
Wow. He's not even allowed to get one. That's not very nice, is it?
Ecos on Dust 2 is so whack, man. I feel like if you don't have Deegs, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is, I honestly, again, like, I think, like Inferno and Train, getting that really solid CT start on the economy really alleviates so much pressure. It's just such a hard recovery to make, because it feels like you have to take a lot of risks with your economy on Dust 2 on the CT side, but nothing about that. We do have Forest playing pretty aggressively into lower dark here. I don't know if they spotted this because of all the flashes going across. Another flash to come up. Can Forest make anything of this? It doesn't quite have the position. MBK certainly has, though. Drops heat from the A site. They're going fast into that A site. There's the entry from MBK. Issa as well chiming in too. And it's looking fantastic right now for OG. They are fighting back wonderfully well. And Mantu with a lovely little flourish at the end with the AK will finish it all off.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't actually see Forest getting into lower as well. That was because Halzak got a tag with the scout, and Alexibi hid as he was low. And as he hid, Forest crept in, but it matters not as OG run wild over A. MBK heard y'all talking smack because he is showing up today. He's really firing on all cylinders, and it gets us some crucial entries into that A site there. That's forced Dig to eco. It's pistols out. And it's OG's chance to bite back with their own second. Fast out long, double nade, does some damage, but no kill. Valde is out and about, playing the edge of that smoke. USP on the other side gets an immediate headshot, and Harry, that's exactly what he's got.
Oh dear.
Oh. Can he get the gun? He wants it, and he's got it. Oh dear, okay. All right, Dignitas, you know, you've got our attention now. They've got a 5-on-4. They had a 5-on-4, but instead it's Alexibi mopping up these players in mid. They still get one out of that at least, right? They've kept it even. And look at Harry continuing on this wraparound in through the back line. Pressure's on for him now. Still 2 players left inside of the B site as well. And OG, they're hoping that the B site's going to be a little lackluster, right? They're hoping this can be their rest, their break from all the actions in this round. Are they going to get in, though? Up close, there is a man up on the boost. He's been dealt with. And so B's now ripe for the taking. Harry's moved in through the lower tunnels, but does get cancelled out on the re-peek from Issa. So it's 2 on the board for OG. A nice try in a round that really didn't have anything to go off in for Dignitas. But ultimately, still coming up in favour of the OG boys.
All right. So this is a big moment. We've got the AWP in hands of Halzek and Forest. Double ops, it's expensive. And they're going to be able to hold on to a long. Great flashes to... Oh, and actually the Molotov to follow as well, preventing any entrance. And Matu will escape with his life and most of his health too, but they didn't get that long control. That's a huge win for Dignitas early on in this. OG look like they might be setting up for a long retake, possibly. They are in a position that they can do that. And at this kind of timing, you start to think, if you're the CTs, okay, the T side is going to start, ambling into that cat control, and then they're going to start pressuring mid. That's kind of what would normally be happening around the 1 minute to 1:10 mark. And you can see OG are now moving down mid, looking like they aren't too interested in any kind of long retake shenanigans. And we get an info play in upper dark as well. This is big.
Yeah, lots of knowledge. Dig now know this is unlikely to be a B play, at least not through the tunnels for now. But as I say that, there's players coming in late, and it might be a drop into a mid to B split if MBK finds these kills towards the tunnels. Freiburg's not going to check it. It's Valde rather to steal that frag away. And now OG, who were on cat, can drop into that mid to B. Oh, this is a great reaction as Dignitas only have one player. It's Forest with the AWP and a quick shot to start. That's a good shot, but he's now got players flooding in from the tunnels and from middle as well. They're trying to help him out, boosted on the box. Heap and Harry finding a killer piece, and this has just been a mop-up in middle. Valde, his pick in tunnel is forgotten as all of his teammates fall like flies, and he needs a 1-on-4 ace to make this one happen. 10 seconds to do it, it's already a save. Dignitas finding a third, and that looked like it could have gone so well for OG, but they just get siphoned through the mid doors into that double setup.
I think it was really interesting too, because I think it really tells you a lot about how a team understands the other team as to when they do their information plays. And I feel like when Dig did that upper dark 2-man push, that was actually at a pretty fast timing. And it's at a timing where you can really get caught by that one player in upper dark who's playing anti-flash or has a good angle. There's a lot of good angles there, and so you've got to be really careful about how you approach that. But Dig seemed to have a pretty good sense as to the kind of pace that they were up against, and they nailed it. They got the info they needed. It didn't have a cost to them. They didn't lose any players, didn't lose any util, and they were able to then understand what was coming their way. And with that said, they've now positioned themselves into a really nice spot as we have a pause here to maybe try to predict how this round's going to go. We've got a scrappier buy, Galil Mac 10 and so on, but loads of utility here for OG. Are we going to see a fast A, fast B? What are you guys fancying here for OG?
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing one of these faster B plays, but because they had all right spawns for it. That's the reason I was wondering if that's what we would see. Instead, they try and run a man down through middle, and we will see them lean towards B now. They don't have the advantage of the spawns anymore, but that's fine. Right now, you just kind of wait out the utility, you explode through the smokes, you try and get stuck in. However, they have lost a man early on in the form of man 2. He's gone. Oh, dear! For Freiburg, a lot of damage through that smoke. And now they know he's here. He's just trying to stay alive, trying to buy time. The flashes go in. And Forest, they're still putting up numbers. They've locked in that B site between the two of them. Dignitas onto 4. And the attempt at the B play is just demolished by Dig. The smoke shots from Freiburg doing damage. The moment he sees the utility, he holds that left side and just sprays with the A1S. And yeah, I mean, there's no recovering from that, right? Not a lot of damage done, really, when you look at it. But, like, slows them all down. Really, like, disjoints the push, because some of them decided against going on the back of it. And then he's there to mop it up right at the very end with the AWP helping out.
I think what's key there is the read that it was B as well for Dig. After they get that mid pick on a player running down out of spawn, they also have the long control fully. They have all the mid info, so they know that the T's aren't cat. That only leaves the B tunnels. So yeah, Dig rotated early. They had Forest supporting with util and the AWP's popping as well. So yeah, great round for Dig, but very telegraphed for OG. Nowhere else they could have been. And now back to pistols as well. It's not pretty. Maybe the D can do something here. Forest does eat a bullet, but just backs out, only to re-aggress for the fight, finding Alexi in the process. And OG, they run up catwalk here. No nades to get them on the cross. And Halzek, he's making it an even battle by whipping out his sidearm. only so he can speed up and get to the site, sees it's clear, posts up, and now he can use that AWP as they run boost across. He's still going to pick up one, and the bomb isn't making it to the site alive. It's Heap with 3 and Dig with 5.
Pretty clean, pretty clean. We'll have to see, now we go into our next full buy round. If OG are going to throw anything into the mix. What was also really helpful for Dig on that previous buy round that they had won was not just that timing of the info play that we talked about in Upper Dark, but it was also that they held on to early long control. So that could be something that OG could try to think about. Do we want to start going heavier into our commit on the A long control? Do we feel like Dig are going to be able to deal with that? So far, it looks like they aren't really focusing on that. They're going to allow Dig to invest utility early on to protect that. They're going to throw that corner smoke at the start of the round, which will definitely force Dig to invest a bit more utility because they can't quite know, because of the way that obstructs vision, whether or not they're actually going to do something behind it. So pretty big investment for Dig on long. And Cat's coming into play now for OG, as you would expect. Or it should in some moments. And OG looking like they're gearing up for a split here onto the A site.
Yeah, there is this double long setup though, as you say, right? Like ready and waiting to respond to this attempt at the long aggression. And something that's interesting here is Dig have 3 in middle. They clearly have some kind of read in this round as to what they think is going to happen. And so this decision to rotate 2 players early up through CT to help out at this A bomb site, that could be something that really helps Dig nail this round down. Because OG, look at what you forced Alexi B to call, man. He's like, yeah, just sit long for a bit, hope that they do something, and then if they don't, we'll go to them, and we hope that they've outbrained themselves. Well, they haven't, and in fact, they have read into OG perfectly. There's the mop up from Harry. He's locked in a double. Might go down to the AWP, but honestly, with him being so low, oh, there's the support from Halzerk. Never mind. Harry's not even needed. He's just the bait to get Halzerk that kill. And so with 10 seconds left, the bomb dropped at long. You can't win this round if you're OG. You're just looking for kills. Little consolidation prizes, and they're not being given out. No participation medals today. It's Dignitas taking the gold in that round there.
I think one really interesting point that I want to make quickly on that is just that once Dig sort of felt that initial pressure and they were suspecting that it could be a long play, and then they get that info around mid, and then OG just sit and they wait. I can have a moment to make this point as we go for the attack pause. The Dig's set up in a way where they can deal really well with the information that they got, but given that OG then just hold, eventually that information, the quality of it decays, and then suddenly, oh, they could have had time to rotate into something else. So, and if it was the option that OG had actually rotated into some form of a B hit or mid take, Dig would have been in a lot of trouble. But that wasn't what happened. They were actually reinvesting into long, and OG were hoping that in them just waiting, that Dig would take players, at least a player, off of long, to have more investment to deal with things towards cat and mid at the later timing. So there's so many tiny things here that's just very hard to predict as a player on the server, I feel like.
Yeah, and on top of that, I think it shows. Oh, that's nice. Oh well, okay. now this is a B play, right? Like that's the red carpet rolled out by MBK. That they want to try and go on the back of it, knowing that B site is going to be a little weaker. They'll wait for the Molotov, smokes it down. Yeah, it sucks if you're OG, right? You wanted to go quick, and oh look, surprise, surprise, Freiburg doesn't let you. There will be players that can rotate up from middle, right, to help Freiburg out. That's something at least. But if he does get pressured here at B, he's got to put on a bit of a show for us. Halzerk's nearby. A scout on MBK looking for another, and he's going to get it. Freiburg, bye-bye. And now the B site opened up. MBK, can he get any more on this scout? $1,700 he invested, and he's reaped the reward of it. This round's locked in for OG. Digger's saving. They're giving it up. That is a pretty devastating but understandable call to have to make, right? At this point in time, you know that all you've given OG is that one rifle that's inside of the site. The other one got juggled out of there by the mid player, so he's hidden that somewhere. So they've only got one gun. They get the round win, right? You give over a third, that's fine. You can deal with it. You're still investing in the next round if you dig. And you don't sacrifice this AWP or any of these rifles. So it's not your dream situation, but they've made the best of it. They get away with these guns. OG is still in with a third, though, and it's on the back of MBK, looking good on the scout.
Yeah, that's one of those really upsetting rounds, isn't it? You kind of have to hold your hands up and just you know, you can't really say that you necessarily played anything wrong, and they just kind of someone just hit an insane shot. And that's just Counter-Strike right there for you. So, you know, for Dig, you know, hopefully they should be just as confident in what they've been doing so far. They don't really have to change too much. And I think that's one of the things here from OG. The OG haven't been really forceful around Long or Cat. They've actually been quite passive, and they've been playing these slower paces. So I would be not too surprised if they go back to what they did in their first gun round, which was like a really fast aggression up catwalk or something like that. But this round is not appearing to be something like that. It looks instead like they may just go, you know, away from any kind of a default and just straight into a possible B split.
Yeah, last time they got out through mid, it was Valde to find the tunnel pick and 4 players through the doors. They didn't get much further than the doors. Dig had 2 players in spawn spamming smokes. So let's see how this one goes, because Dig are very entrenched in their positions right now, right? Like, deep in the pit, one at Goose, 2 committed into B. So mid is free right now for OG. They can just run wild and split this B bomb site. We need something huge from Forest and Co. Freiburg's going to get pushed in off the flash. He misses his shot. Forest dropping a smoke to try and avoid any kind of Molotov. And while there is one still up, they know he's trapped at the back of the boxes, and the smoke spam will connect. The boost is too late. And even though he catches MBK in the window, is that really going to entice you for a retake? You're already a man down. They gave it up against pistols, for crying out loud. So rifles, not interested. It's another round for OG inside of B. And you know that now you've got that, you know, you've got that trick up your sleeve if you're OG. If you can break this B defense, if you can find the right rounds to get into that site, Dig are very keen to save in these man disadvantaged positions. It's no surprise. And it's OG building into this T half as well. So 4 rounds now to play with. And I'm a little less worried than I was maybe after Train, right? They haven't taken it to heart. Still in this map, still in this series. Dig are holding on quite tight.
And I think you could tell, right, with how Alexa had been calling up until now, right? We remember that round where they just waited outside of Long. It feels like they were just looking for that first thing to work, right? That first thing to give you your kind of foot in the door. And now that they've exploited B twice in a row successfully at that, it's going to help open up other areas on the map, right? As Dignitas are now worried about this B site and looking for solutions there, that might end up weakening other areas that have, up until now, been pretty successful for Dignitas, right? You think about how they've had this double long hold that's been good for the long pushes. Their B site holds have been good as well. And then it fell apart. Then we kind of hit that tipping point where now, actually, it's proven to be a bit of a problem. And so already you're noticing maybe some changes in that you have a much more active early B presence. You don't have this mid player either spotting for information on the Dignitas side. And so these little changes are things that are going to give OG that much more room, not just over towards B, but actually across the entire map. So let's see what they're able to do with it. They take advantage of this lack of mid control, this lack of mid information by getting up on the Xbox and taking catwalk. And so now they're in a spot where they can execute into this A bomb site with all this utility, right? They can drop the close wall smoke, they can smoke off CT, and then they can use that to take these fights over into the site and potentially isolate some like 4v1 scenario. Now it is passive inside of A. Dignitas playing the retake setup right now. They're going to have to move into an A bomb site in a 5v5, which is a pretty weird round, kind of nasty if you're Dignitas. You were hoping to get something from this. And this is all bearing in mind that you still have a player for OG lurking late in mid to catch these rotations.
Harry will make his way up with his teammates here. The flash is coming through the smokes as well. This is looking really nice. Great spacing here coming through from Dig. Oh man, this is beautiful from them. You can't ask for better as Valde will come in on the tail end of this. He was really set up to be the lurk, to be the guy catching rotations, but that's why everyone went through CT spawn. There comes the defuse of Dignitas, and that's an excellent retake. And again, you know, I'm not sure when this started to happen, but a meta developed a long time ago in A retakes where you stop really sending players up mid, because the amount of times you would get caught by a lurk, who could be in so many different positions that's very difficult to deal with, is just too great. So teams worked out how to retake from CT spawn instead.
Yeah, and what's annoying about that is Valde is like late long when his team are committing up catwalk, and he misses a really unfortunate timing coming back to middle to watch for what you're talking about, which is the re-aggro to rotate Xbox to cat, and he misses the timing, so every B player crosses either through the doors or just into CT before Valde gets out mid, so he doesn't even get info, let alone kills in that lurk position, and just unfortunate timing on that play. It's a bomb plant for OG, and nets him another buy, but look at the aggro, look at the B push again for Dig. They've hit a lovely timing despite OG abusing B in many of these rounds. Dig know it's not one of these rounds, as they've cleared out upper and lower and already starting to come in on the mid flank. Whereas Valde, not here this time around. It's a perfect read from Dig, and even though once again they give up the A site, they are so poised to retake so fast on this flank. How many are going to go cat and how many are going to go long? It's a 2-2 split. Mantu holding with the AWP, waiting for this contingency. He knows with no one on A, they have to be coming in quick, and there's the first shot. Molly to cut off the second, and now this has gotten a lot harder for Dig in this 4-on-5.
Ooh, Halzerg. What's he got for us? There's one of those AWP striking the tally on the other side, and Halzerg now, needs to get out of there, because everyone else from Dig, they're tucking tail. They're removing themselves from this entire situation, just trying to save. OG in with the 5th, keeping it competitive. Dust 2 kind of giving like more Inferno vibes than Train, and I'm very happy about that, right? Train was one-sided, which was nice to see, because it gave us this indication that Dignitas really are a fighting force in this series, but we wanted a close third. And that's what we're getting delivered here and now, especially with Mantu starting to find his footing with that AWP on the other side.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, because what worked so well for Dig in the previous round to that last one, it was not what they did, and not what they tried in this one, which was that cat and CT spawn retake of A. But as you mentioned, we had that play. They had info. They actually pushed upper dark at 125. So they pushed upper dark very quickly, and they got that info very, very quickly. And they had their pick as to how they would execute that retake. And instead of playing it from CT and cat, as I had mentioned, which worked for them really well, they went for that play through the long doors, where they were much more spread apart. So that's unfortunate for Dig there, but still ahead, still looking in good shape on the economy mostly. And they have that AWP in the hands of Halzerg. And OG looking to catch maybe those aggressions in B tons right now. They've got 3 players set up there in upper dark. Doesn't mean that they'll commit towards that B side ultimately. They could just be making sure they're ready to deal with info plays and to have a trap ready and set for Dignitas. But as I say that, we've got Alexibees lurked out into mid. This is a pretty big spot. What can he get from it? Oh, goodness, nothing at all. Thank you, Halzerg.
Dirty. Now the B play, just desperate play for OG. They got no split. Freiburg's trapped in the site. Halzerg does trade him somehow, some way. Can he get any more? No, he looks the wrong way, and MBK swings the smoke. This is not around. Dig need to save him. They've got to give this a go. They keep losing B. Now with a 2-on-3, it's some of the best odds they've had all game. With the re-smoke, that is quite the problem. Molotov can come back in on the Xbox, the smoke to get them out the door. The Molly bounces back. It's actually a problem for them as they set themselves to go in through the window. Valde hiding below the site. Harry grabs an AWP and he runs right away. They're not doing it. That second smoke, that was sealing the deal. And there was still one left up on Mantu as well, so they didn't fancy their chances filtering through one choke point. And would rather just hold on to their weaponry. No money really moving forward, so it makes a lot of sense. They want to get that buy in the follow-up. But OG building into the T side yet. And some of these B plays have really just been the answer for OG, right? A lot of A bomb plants and a lot of A retakes for Dig. But when OG get the bomb planted in B, it's often just a saved round from this CT side.
That's such a shame for Freiburg, man. Like, he gets a little lost, right, as the B-side play is coming in, overextends out, realizes it, tries to correct it, and then gets like caught on the lip of of the site, and you know, that always kind of throws you off completely. There was like, you know, that just fell apart on the back of it. It really did. You know, it was like, it looked like parking a truck or something was what he was attempting to do over there towards B. Like a 4-point turn to get himself out of there. Heap. Oh, actually helped out by Harry. All right, they's saved. And advantage taken. And OG, this time, you know, this slower kind of play out of the gate to try and grab mid control has not worked for them. Good response from Dignitas with that cap boost to find an opener, to put themselves in a commanding position here. And there's even a rotation down into mid, down into CT. Very aware that this mid hit could come through. Like, that's what Dignitas are poised for right now. The B players have actually given up a lot of site control. Instead, you have a man playing at the window, and Halzerk's now peeling over. Dignitas have had good reads in this game, and it looks like this could culminate in a B play for OG, but that's the problem. With cat control taken, their options are still open to them. That kill might force their hand, though. That might make the B play happen, and that's exactly what Dignitas want here.
Oh! Legged on the cross. Freiburg's got a nice little grimy angle at the back of the site, and he's even got a car support player as well. So flash to be set up. No swing coming off of it. OG are running out of time. TikTok goes that clock. Forest is waiting for the cross shot. Halzerk misses his, but they have no idea that Forest is waiting here. Does anyone even check it? They do, killing him turning from the flash. Halzerk with one, but it's not enough. That is a weak B-hold for Dignitas with 10 seconds remaining. The bomb almost gets denied. The kill won't come through from the HE. And there's no way OG should even be in this round with the triple B setup, but somehow, some way, they've made it work, and now Heap has to do the heavy lifting.
Seems almost impossible here for him, and indeed, Valde will make it such. 7-7, all tied up, and you're talking about those Inferno vibes, and I'm definitely feeling it too. Looking really good now from OG, and it's just insane how one team can look so dominant, and then all of a sudden, you know, OG are having performances like this, and wow, beautiful from Valde, a triple off of that flash as well. And this HE, I thought for sure that was
Oh, well, good to see OG are handling this well, eh? Like, they brought out the autos to do some damage on the cross.
Man, you just got to talk about that turn. Was it Forrest at car who looks into the wall as Heap flashes? If he doesn't flash there, Forrest probably just kills Valde and the round falls apart there at the seams. But instead, he dodges the flash and that gets him killed. His entire team fall. Oh, like this is still a really competitive game. It's very close, but that could have been Dignitas winning the half at a bare minimum. Now they're just going for scraps. And Freiburg, that's all he's left to. 15 points of health at the back of B. Tagged by the auto on the cross. One of the two pistols in this round as well. The flash falls short. Heap has an angle. You can see their feet appear before they see him. But he won't hang around for long. Back towards that A site. OG defaulting with one in the tons, one holding long. And they can group wherever the picks come through.
Halzerk tagged down, but still has his life. Quick swap of the guns, and he's got himself one. And there's a 4 versus 4 now. 35 seconds to get this bomb planted. Starts to be a lot of urgency, and Mantu will deliver. Valde as well, making his way into that B site, so that bomb will not be further delayed in its plant. And it's looking rather desperate now here, Hari, in the last round of the first half, looking to try to find a way to make this an 8-7 for Dig. Still a great half, no matter what happens from this point forward, but Harry will give it his all to try to see what he can do against the 3 defenders here. Issa goes down, MBK and Valde remaining. Great setup between them. And Molotov will further delay things here. It's looking rather difficult indeed. But Harry has shown us some great clutches so far. Looking to go for the peak. Nice headshot there. One more player to go, but it's Valde to deliver the kill. And that's a wrap for the first half of the third and deciding map between OG and Dignitas. You guys don't want to go anywhere. It is anyone's game still. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is CS Summit 007, of course, and Dignitas and OG face off 7-8 here in the deciding map. Dust2 between these two teams, and my goodness, it's hard to say where this one will land when all is said and done. And I think you guys had a blue screen, but you're back.
Yes.
All right, nice.
That is correct. The magic continues, and yeah, Dig, this is an impressive game for them, right? Considering coming in as underdogs. Can they tie it up in a bow? Can they finish the job? OG waiting at B, and the bomb dropped on the entry. That's a great start for MBK. Again, the pistols coming alive, and Alexi B helping out. It's a clean sweep. It's a flawless round. Blink and you miss it. 5 kills with no deaths for OG. They take the second pistol of this map.
Okay, so the thing is, we talked about the parallels of the Inferno storyline, and on Inferno we had Dig doing really well, OG coming back, and then Dig having a good start on that second half. But that's not what's happening so far, unless we see something out of this scout and out of these pistols. Normally, what a team will do, I think historically, with a situation like this on the T side, is you go for an A play. You go for those, the couple smokes, get you across, get that short plant, and you at least get a post plant to play, some extra money, and possibly some kills, and sometimes even win the round. So we'll see if that's what they're going for here. You can see that OG is set up in a way where they anticipate this, and they're able to delay and play the site. So we'll see how well that works for them.
Right, so don't worry, Dan, I got you. This is Dignitas trying to make something happen over at short, but they've been denied, right, on the push because of this smoke. So instead, they're going to look at middle. They're going to try unsuccessfully at first, but there's Heat with the trade, and now this B site. Oh, now it's tasty. Now it's exciting because MBK. It's a little bit ugly with the AUG, and suddenly B belongs to Dignitas. Now that bomb isn't down yet, but as I say it, there it is. The flash in for Alexa B. And this is why we say someone who creates a lot of room for his team. Like, no fear on that push with the flashbang. Heap all alone. Oh my goodness, surely not. It's down to the 1v1, and somehow, some way, it's Heap laying it on thick for the side of Dignitas. My oh my. That was unreal in the 1v3. It looked like it was a done deal. There was no way you were thinking he's going to pull that one off.
He's so good. Look at this. Just clean, clinical flicks. What is this? Beautiful work from Heap, and we've seen it time and time again in this series so far. He's been a standout performer, having an incredible display of individual moments, and that was a beautiful quad kill. I mean, I wanted to say more about what's going on there from a macro perspective, but you know what? He just took all the limelight with that beautiful series of kills, and that's going to create a lot of issues here for OG. It's very upsetting indeed, and maybe that parallel still exists to Inferno, where we could see Dignitas off to a good start out of the gate here in the second half. We'll have to see if they can capitalize. Alexi B, it's been some trouble from MBK Scout, but maybe Alexi B can also show us some nice scout shots. Such an awesome weapon, such a Counter-Strike weapon. It's just so it's so fun to run around the scout. You feel free, man. You can run so fast with that thing.
Yeah, no, man. I'm a big scout fan. Like, any player that's good with the scout as well is just a treat to watch. Like, I mean, whenever I use it, I'm kind of garbage, right? But you watch someone who's prolifically good with the gun, someone like Chris J, who, like, when they were in this age of being a great scout player, it's just nuts because it's such a mobile weapon, as you're saying. Don't get to see too much scout heroics in this round. I was hoping we were going to get a bit more out of it. There is still one on the other side, so there's still time for something cool to happen. Ooh, little boost. All right, how'd he get that tool? It's taking the head off of them. Deary me, deary me. It's Forest and Heap left alive in this one. They're looking for kills. They're looking to deal with these CT players, and in doing so, they've actually made problems worse. Oh, it's brutal. The Deagle on Mantu has absolutely lit them up. 10 on the board for OG, double digits locked in. And Dignitas, they're going to be kicking themselves. That was up against pistols. That was up against scouts. And things were looking good, but the boost to catch them off guard in the beginning, and then the decision to not get that bomb down and try and challenge for those CT fights really comes back to punish Dignitas.
Yeah, you're right. Like the the boost there was just such a perfect timing, and OG, man, well, they've got a lot of work to do still to build from that, but it's looking pretty good. There's not a lot to bear here for Dignitas to fight with, just some deagles, and already they are... Well, never mind. Harry is going to bring out a couple kills and turn around on his head. Alexi B will make his way through to CT, but he'll be smoked off, and he may not be too confident to go through that by himself, so he's waiting for his teammate Valde, who is going to help him out through that smoke, and Hari, he could get more kills out of it. He is going to be able to take down Alexi B. And now it's down to Forest. That deal in hands. Expert with a pistol, showing it once again. And it's not going to work out, unfortunately. Can't complete the clutch, but very importantly, Harry, he has, or Hugo, I should say. Harry and Hugo. I don't know if you're both there.
Yeah. We're all good.
Okay, nice. Very importantly, economic damage. A lot of it.
Yeah, you take that. Oh, MBK held really strong there as well for a second, right? He knew he was getting pinched by Harry in middle. Harry was actually hanging on for the rotations through CT. Puts a lot of pressure on inside of that B site for MBK, but still around nonetheless for OG, albeit very close. It's now a full eco for Dig. They would love to buy here to you know, actually capitalize on that economic damage and get a reset. But the fact that they're still eco and left to 2k a player means that OG can actually, you know, build a lifeline up, build that money that they lost from the previous back. That's what they hope to do, at least. You see the Deagles allow it. Glocks in middle do some spam damage through the doors, but Issa helps out Alexi, who gets out alive with 7. Climbing up Cat are Dig. And OG have the AWP posted for Mantu, just waiting back in the wings. Easy shots for Mantu. He should be able to find a couple here. And Valde's going to steal them away. Take those eco frags while you got them, because they only come every few rounds. No more for Freiburg, surely, with the P250. And it's 12 for OG to the 8 of Dig. This CT side is getting a little bit out of control, but this next buy round for Dig means everything.
Yeah, definitely. It's pretty heartbreaking if they're not able to find a way to a recovery in terms of just how many good looks we've seen out of them as a team and as individuals too. We'll have to see what the story, or how the story will develop here, moving forward from this buy. It's a great moment for them to start conditioning OG. And they're a little bit late to that. And I think that's one of the things which is super disruptive about, you win a pistol and then you lose against a force buy, and then it's not the force buy, and then that, it just kind of really disrupts the flow. And the perfect thing for a T side is that they get to run a few rounds and start to condition you and create expectations for the opponent as to the kinds of timings that they'll be using, and then they get to then play off of those expectations afterwards. It's a much more controlled way to kind of call your T side. So it does get a little bit more difficult, and especially because there's not too many rounds left for them to mess with. It's got to work out, and quick cat take will work out really nicely with the opening kill onto Valde.
All right, there's the trade. Trying to pincer in towards this A site, and things are looking good for them to get away with it too. OG, this is probably a round that you save in. Maybe Alexi B on this fast flank can deal with this pit player, and that would open up a world of possibilities. Oh, there's the nade. Forest not going down. Oh, Alexi does catch the man at long. Forest needs the trade, and he can't get it. Alexi B's just cracked this round wide open, giving OG a fighting chance. As now they position for the retake, one that they weren't really sure they were going for in the beginning. Now they certainly are. Finally, Alexi's dealt with, and all across the board, Dignitas are picking fights. Harry in with another, and now just Issa left standing, cut down by Freiburg. It's Dignitas onto 9. As they piece that round together, in spite of all the damage that Alexi B was able to do to them out through those long doors.
Yeah, damn, all in vain as well. Like, Forrest is making the call, he's on me, I'm low. Someone comes in from long to try and help. Alexi kills him, no trade allowed. Suddenly, feel like it's OG's round, but good hold in the post part on the site from Dig. And they keep this one going still, forcing an eco from OG. Pistols galore. And fast flashes out long. Look at the gamble. They smoke mid on the OG side and stack B. in expectation of another fast hit. Dig aren't doing it though. It's just Harry holding on to the tons. Maybe there's an AK to be grabbed here, but how many can he take down before that fact? They don't check it. The flash is good though, and Harry only getting one. Issa did take a look in, and Harry, he hits a perfect blind shot, but it's an AK in the hands of OG. Nonetheless, should surely not be around for them, as Dig have the bomb crossing right now to the site. Another boost perhaps for OG that could cause catastrophe as Man2 goes above.
Oh no, not again, not again. Okay, these, oh god.
Oh no.
Just stay away from the edges. Someone needs to put up a sign. Don't get close to the edge. Forest, though, able to take down Alexi B. Holzek is going to lend some assistance, but it feels so precarious. And MBK lurking in with the P250 from behind. Can't find the connection he's looking for, but Man2 certainly can. And Holzek, he's going to do one better. Takes down MBK. Man2, though, trying to play the off angles, trying to play that right eye peek, trying to play the edges. He knows exactly where the bomb is, and the head is showing, and Holzek will take him down, but that was a little bit too scary. Far more than it should have been.
That was an emotional roller coaster of a round and a half, wasn't it? Oh, don't go near the edges, man. Jeez, they were all getting wrecked. Once again, the boost coming in, and then it's so back and forth from that point onwards. Halzerg really doing a good job to hold his own in the 1v2. Like, you can imagine how flustered everyone is in that situation, really, on both teams. Like, OG are constantly getting away with little gimmicky kills that they know they shouldn't be getting. They have players flanking. And so for Dignitas, it's suddenly like, you know, you've gone from just kind of waltzing into a bomb site like you own the place to every corner is dangerous. Every little edge and nook and cranny is just full of players shooting back at you.
Yeah, for MBK as well, he's so ready for them to be, you know, looking his way that he shoots before he's ready, and his P250 shots whiff. No one was looking at him. If he just took a second to line up that kill, he probably would have won the round right there for OG, but his spam, his missed shots, while it provides a frag for Man2, it's not the round. And that 1AK grab from B tunnels does so much for OG, but not enough still. Dig don't go down without a fight. They don't let go of the baton. And they're going to be passing it right into this B bomb site by the looks of things. Another split through the middle doors. 2 inside of B for OG. It's so fast. No one's ready. They're going to hear this, but it's all too late. Isn't caught. Looking the wrong way, and Forrest just chases him down. The absolute rundown in B. Nowhere to hide, nowhere to run, nowhere to save. OG have got to escape on the long side. Their B player's gone with no kills, and that's a free round for Dig right there. Dear, oh dear. This is getting closer by the second. Maybe too close for comfort for the OG side.
Yeah, and I love the kind of just switch up in terms of, you know, approach from Dig. I think that kind of explosiveness was brilliant and wasn't totally expected by OG. And it's really interesting because before I was talking about how in an ideal world, you know, on the T side, you win the pistol and you win the anti-eco, and then you get all of these rounds consecutively to kind of condition your opponents. And that's a huge advantage to have as an IGL, calling your rounds. And it's really difficult to actually get a good beats on how to call against the other team when it's very disrupted at the very beginning, because you don't get the benefit of all of that conditioning, all those rounds to do that. And so one of the approaches is to just try to throw a bunch of rounds at your opponents, and hopefully your preparation has allowed you to know what some of the better options might just generally be. But on top of that, just how you're feeling out the game. And if your IGL has a really good feeling for the game, that intuitive calling can be really powerful. And I feel like that's something that we're starting to see in rounds like this. Like calling that fast pace, that switch up for that B split was just such a great maneuver. And the confidence you can see really from the I almost said NIP guys there. I don't think that will ever not be a thing in my brain. But the confidence was really apparent. So I was feeling like we were starting to almost like I could like hear the death knell maybe of Dignitas, but they're firing, they're getting fired up again.
Yeah, and now you really start believing, right? You're on the T side, you're playing spawn-based CS, you're going fast as well. That quick B play now into a long take with all 5 players. Yeah, you're definitely believing if you're on this Dig side, and there's only 3 guns in the way in this round. Those saved weapons having to do it all, surrounded by a pistol from MBK and Issa. Now, there is a bit of an A setup here for OG, right? They've got everyone up on this site but one man. So there is still a fight in them. There is still hope. The boost for the AWP going above does leg. Hauser won't finish the kill. Maybe the nade will do the job instead. No, it's not going to stop him. Bowdy shot through the smoke onto Harry. They could boost up again. OG do love this boost. Freiburg is sneaking along. He's crossed to the site. Molotov gives it away. They're going to try and burn out Bowdy from this corner, but backing up out of the close position, giving the site away and playing retake. They know that not only do they have the advantage, but that leg came through from the AWP earlier. So OG are in a very winnable round here. Just no kit. That's the big problem.
Yeah, bomb down, right? That's something now for Dignitas to try and work with. OG trying to close in, trying to crunch down onto these players in the site, but the kills are good for Freiburg and Forest. And they do lose Freiburg up in the site. Forest is moving in, though. He's not falling back. He's not playing the bomb. Instead, he's looking for gunfights. Forest, can he get any more? I think he's deterred OG from even attempting this round. And now he's just looking for even more kills. Forest, oh, is he going to check it? Indeed he will. No betrayal to that boost today. And Dignitas will find a 12th, tying us up, making it competitive again. And now OG are sweating. Now they're getting uncomfortable. As this has gone from a game that they look like they were just going to walk away with in the second half. The beginning of the CT side was great. And since Dignitas broke the mold and kind of put that first round up on the board, they've been gaining more and more momentum, more and more money. And these T sides, this is where you want to be for comebacks, right? You can get ahead in terms of the economy very, very easily.
Uh-oh. Are they going quick? That's a good nade. Banging. They're just going to rush it. They're just going to contact play into B. MBK is ready. The flashes are good, but he's just spraying the choke point. 3 from MBK. Freiburg gets 1 in the middle, but Halzak is all that remains in B, and not for long. Oh my, that's a B hold right there. Dig. Some of these fast rounds net them some wins, but back into B off of spawn. Not even a molly or a smoke in their way. They run in to the waiting arms of MBK, and OG hold on yet another round. It's just so unclear. This is just I don't know if you guys have any idea. I don't know who's winning this game. It's on a knife's edge right now.
Yeah, and it looks, when stuff like that happens, it looks like such a big fail from Dignitas' side of things. But with the fast rounds, there is an element of gambling because you just don't have information. So you're kind of part of the gamble is that you're trying to predict sort of what the other team might be ready for. And again, you're not always going to be correct with that. So now they're in this position where their economy is still good enough to get a full buy-in there. OG, just won a round, but they're going to spend almost everything to kind of gear up into this round. So it's like at this point, now Dignitas have to select the round in which they think they're going to be most confident in. And I would be very surprised if that's going to be like an all-out rush again. They're playing it slower. It's more default here. They want to get that map control. They want to get that information. They want to try to find a way to push and pull OG around to create holes to exploit.
Yeah, closing out a game like this on the CT side, man, could just feel like, pulling teeth almost. You really have to work hard for every inch that you get, and you need rounds to be clean, or else your money is always in like a vulnerable spot. So for Dig, that can be a way back in, right? That can be a way out of a gloomy scenario where OG are now back in the lead. Mid-control attempted for Dig early on, but they actually give it up. They don't commit on the back of these smokes, on the back of this utility. Instead, they leave it to Forest to handle all alone, while the rest of them try and take long, try and get out. And there is nobody here for OG. Instead, this peak is coming in late. That flashbang could be devastating. It blinds a few players on the angle. Valdez now, I don't know how he's still alive. And the trades are just so back and forth. It is OG sat with the advantage, thanks to Mantu, keeping it in their favor. And they've even dealt with the threat of a player moving in through short. Forest has actually fallen back to join up with his teammate at long. It's him and Halzak side by side. Gonna drop these smokes to get them into the site at least. OG, though, they'll take this retake, right? They're fine with a 3v2. The odds in their favor in a sense. A lot of this is going to come down to where this bomb gets planted as well. It is going to be planted where Halzak can get positioned in the pit at long and keep an eye on it. So that's something at least. And it's going to have to be everything at that, because now they've lost Forest back inside of the site. So Halzak, what can he do? 1v3. There's the double peak, but he's dealt with the first man. Oh, not quite the follow-up though, as MBK takes his head off. OG onto 14.
Man, MBK is crispy today. I'm turning into his #1 fan. Like, this is unreal. Like, a great headshot. After Halzak survives that double peak, you think maybe there's a chance he can post plat and play the bomb and win the round, but just one bulleted by MBK. You take those if you're OG. And yeah, great trade work at long. They finally had the right setup there with 3 players able to each put up 1 kill. Mantu smart to back out of that position as well and just set up with the retake. So OG 14-12, finally a winner in sight. Are Dig going to go down without a fight, or can they still hold on? It's again through the Molotov, through the flames, and into the fire at long. Valde just mowing them down, and it's mostly pistols, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem, you would think. Double for Forest. The nade will keep him out of the round, but yeah, Dig are going to reset, regroup, and go back into what is now a top mid push for Issa. Oh, beautiful.
Starting to look like Dig are going to be in a really bad position now, because the consistency to how they're finding, if you kind of like look back at the rounds they have won, I feel like it hasn't felt like they're doing it from a consistent approach, a replicable approach. And it's been sort of hit and miss and gambly here and there. So it's going to be interesting to see what they come up with here in this extremely important round. OG here on match point. Issa going straight forward with the flashbang. The trades come through, and it does benefit Dignitas as they stand 4 versus 3. Huge advantage going into this round now.
Yeah, and a lot riding on it, right? They've really got to dig deep here. And those openers being gifted to them by OG is a fighting chance. Mantu is really the man to beat, the man to get past, and they're not able to do it. Oh, there's the double. And Long's now locked in as well for Dignitas. They're down to 2. They're trying to group up over here at Cat. Alexa B dropping down, doesn't want to give a kill over. OG, very, very good at playing patient in these man advantages. They know the pressure is on for Dignitas. Out through mid with that smoke down. They've at least got a veil to move through, but the flash is going in. Alexa B trying to play the timing on it. And he's just waiting patiently. He's coming in on this lurk through the back. Are they going to be ready for it? Forest getting... No, not caught. He does respond. And MBK's gone at the B site. It is Mantu as the only hope in this round. 15 on the board for OG, and it looked like he'd done enough to get them over the finish line. Well, now he's got to do it all. Down through the lower tunnels, AWP in his hands, and a 1v2 on the plate. It's certainly a tall order. Can Mantu answer it?
Oh, wow. It might just be happening here for Mantu. He's got the AK now, swapping out, looking for the ace here to close things up. Oh, the flick comes through. It's not quite good enough, though. And Freiburg will keep Dignitas alive by the skin of their teeth. My God. Mantu.
Poor Alexi as well, man. Like, he had a 10-second window in that CT smoke where if he pushes through, both players have their back turned. He waits, and then he goes as Forest turns around. If he went a second earlier, it's GG. The series is done, and he probably kills them both. But no, Dig just holding on again and again. You think this is over, and we just restart the clock. It's an eco for OG. They're playing for round 30. They're playing for what could be an overtime game if they mess it up. But this is definitely the right call here. No money to buy, and Digger given long control out of the gate. OG have often been here to meet them with numbers. Not today. Lining up those long cross smokes. We've got the scout posted, no AWP. Even the money is a problem for Dig. We're left with that weapon in their hands, and already limited util. 2 long smokes going down. Harry with the cross. MBK in the smoke sees the gap, and he finds a shot through it. They're going to flash through aggressive crunch for OG, but spray is good. It's still a kill for Valdi, but he won't get out alive, and it's only Mantu in the blink of an eye, hidden also in the same gap MBK used. Will they be ready for it? It might not matter, because this should be their round as the smoke fades, and Mantu has no cover. 14-15, and this is what we've been waiting for, the culmination of the last 3 or so hours in this one round here and now. OT or bust for Dignitas.
What a terrifying sight. A 4-man peek off of that flash with the pistols. That is terrifying. Well played by Dig, though. They all handled that really well. And oh god, it comes down to this. 4-buy for both teams. Mantu, the only AWP, and it might be so important here as he whiffs the shot on Catwalk, is able to fall back though. No harm, no foul, perhaps, as Dig also reset off of that.
Yeah, they've seen the AWP, right? The AWP, big, scary, loud, gets in your face, especially when it's in the hands of Mantu. So they're trying to dodge it right now. They instead focusing towards middle. Now, I wonder if this is trying to misdirect that AWP's attention away from Cat, because it doesn't look like B was ever in question in this round for Dignitas. They're set up over at long, so they do go back to Cat later, hoping that some of this mid utility has drawn the attention of OG away from the Catwalk. And in a sense, it has done that, right? Mantu's repositioned over to the crossroads. He's holding from Car again. Out through long, there's a great hold from Balder. There were 3 players here, but he's melted them. So Mantu now is freed up to look back at the Catwalk. Out they go, but a few missed shots has given room over to Dig. Freiburg will nail one in the meantime. That's Mantu taken out. It's another, but ultimately it is left onto Halzerk in this 1v3. AWP retrieve. A big round needed from Halzerk. There's the first, but they've boosted up into the site. One player low, the other player inside will lock it in for OG. 16-14, and they close this series out 2-1. Once again, just like how this series started back on Inferno, they're constantly battling back and forth in that game there, but it's OG with the resilience.
Pretty heartbreaking, you know, you have to say for Dignitas, just because they showed a lot of great stuff in this series. They really did. You know, we saw, I think, clearly like some great prep. We saw it on Inferno. They knew how to react to everything. That followed through for Train as well. Dust 2 is always one of those maps where it's much harder. I think you can really get in your own head if you go too far on that. It's just so fundamentally kind of, everyone knows how Dust 2 kind of works, right? But ultimately, we saw a bit of everything. We had great performances from Heap, a slow start from Harry, but he started to fire up. Halzerk as well was delivering. Forest and Freiburg. We had moments from everybody on Dignitas, but they didn't win. They didn't win off of this. They set themselves up, but they didn't get there. That's got to be so heartbreaking for them.
Yeah, I'm going to play the tiniest violin for Dig. Obviously, they'll have a second chance later on, but OG, they go through with a win. Well earned, although it took them some time. We've got our second matchup of the day coming up in a moment, though. Dan, we're going to be ridding ourselves of you. It's been a pleasure, though. We'll see you later in the day, and we'll be bringing in Bardolph. So stick around. We got Mouse Sports, we've got FaZe coming up down in the pipeline in just a moment.